Hey, this is Chris King, the Marketing Alchemist, and I'm here with my friend Colin Drake of Drake Wealth Management. And he wrote this amazing book that I'm reading right now called Woohoo Wealth. And, I really love his opinion that he has about, making money and building a financial future for yourself, because it's the same thing that we're always talking about on these videos is that, yes, you need to make money. Yes, it's important, but it's not always what makes you happy, and you need to find out what really fills you up inside, and then make money to support yourself too. And, Colin just has such an amazing perspective of that, and he's going to share with you some strategies that you can start using to set yourself up for a wonderful future of financial success. So, Colin, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Chris and I are buddies, and so it's an honor to be here in studio live with Chris. And we are on bouncy balls.
Yeah.
So we're
keeping
comfortable.
it yogic here.
Yes.
We want to have our posture in line.
Yeah, I feel good. Cool. Yeah, so...
well, tell us a little bit about, first, how you got into this work. So... how you came about writing this book and, how you got into this whole thing.
Yeah, I'd love to, thanks. So I've been a financial planner for 15 years, and it's a great profession. It's a helping profession, and it's wonderful to sit with people and help them organize their entire financial life. But like a lot of people in a lot of careers, I hit a point where about 15 years in, I was working really with some of the wealthiest people in the world, and increasingly seeing this thing that had me conflicted, which is, everybody in the world seems to desire to be wealthy, to be financially free, and this is what it looks like. Here are the people who are financially free, and it's surprising how few of them are happy, how few of them are really thriving and using their wealth to translate that into a life that they love. So at that point I said, I had a teacher actually who said, when you find the conversation you want to be in life.
Yes, yeah, we say that too, right?
Yeah.
When you found the conversation you want to have every day, go have it.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
So I really asked myself, what's the conversation I'm in?
Right.
And it's nuts and bolts, percentages, dollars, cents. What's the conversation I want to be in? So what makes you happy? What do you want to do with this one precious life? What brings you alive? And how can we use money to help you do that?
Right.
So I set off on my own, became a life coach, a wealth coach, and then now I combine financial planning with coaching. So we first define the life you want to live, and then we turn to the money to help create that life.
Right, and that's what I loved about your book, was that the whole first part of his book is all about, it's not about money really at all. It's about finding out what really makes you happy and what fills you up. And it's such a great relationship with the two. So
yeah.
I'm glad you're here doing this work and sharing with the community.
Thank you. Yeah, it's an honor to be here, and thank you for the opportunity.
So tell us, we've got all the yoga teachers out here watching this, and I'm helping
yoga
them.
Teachers.
Well, I'm doing a lot of work with helping our community learn marketing and business so that we can make more money and feel supported on the journey and be able to help others too.
Yeah.
But what are some steps or some strategies that people could use to start getting into planning out their life and future and putting these pieces together? Great. You can share with us.
Yeah, I love that question.
Yeah.
Another way to frame that question is, for the yoga community, you're really helping them create financial success in the hopes that it leads to financial freedom.
Right.
So what I want to talk about with you guys today is, what is financial freedom and how do you achieve that?
Right. What does it look like?
Yeah, what does it look like?
Yeah.
So I'm really going to cover 4 core points.
Cool.
Let's dive into the first one. So in 15 years of doing this, I've seen what leads to success, what the core mistakes are. And here's the number 1 mistake people make in the process of setting out to build financial freedom. They have no idea what they want in life. Number 1 mistake is having no clear idea of having no clear and energizing vision of the life you most want to be living. So
same thing with business. No one knows what they want with their business, where they want to go, what it looks like. So yeah, we start with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, business is a subset of life.
Right.
And there just aren't that many, it's not a common skill to sit down and envision what I really want, what's going to fulfill me, what's going to bring me meaning.
Right.
So because we're not that skilled in that, we tend not to apply it to what's the business that I want, what's the life that I want.
Right.
But really, I can't emphasize this enough. The single most important thing you can do in building financial freedom and essentially a fulfilling life is to start with a really crystal clear and energizing vision of what that looks like. Not generalities like, well, I want peace. What does peace mean to you? What does it feel like? What does it look like?
Yeah.
When you wake
How
up,
do you define it?
Yeah. When you wake up on a Tuesday morning, specifically, what is peace to you?
Great.
Same thing with freedom. What does freedom mean to you?
Right.
People want money because they hope that it will lead to their freedom. And I believe that people want freedom because it will lead to aliveness. And what we most want on this earth is to feel really alive.
Right. Absolutely.
So number one thing you can do is form a really energizing, compelling vision of the life you most want to be living, and within that, of the business you most want to have. And I want to offer you 3 questions that are really powerful tools in helping you to start to form that vision.
These are questions are big, so write these down. Grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, pause the video. This is good stuff.
Yeah.
Introspection.
Yeah. These questions actually have changed a lot of lives. So they require some thought, a little quiet time to get into them, but they're designed to help you go inside, find your own answers. And they're actually from a mentor and colleague of mine. His name's George Kinder from the Kinder Institute. Fabulous man. You can find more online at kinderinstitute.com. Okay, number 1 question is, if you had all the money you needed now and for the rest of your life, how would you live? Let yourself go. Really dream.
Yeah.
You can no longer say, I can't afford it, and you can't say, I don't have the time.
Right.
How would you live?
Right.
All right.
And go for it, because when I did this, when I was reading Colin's book, and I went through this this practice, these questions. At first, I was like, oh, I'd like a nice house and blah blah blah, and then I thought, no, I want this huge retreat center property, where we change lives on a daily basis, and we have all these yurts for people to stay in, and a hot tub and sauna, So. First you start out with a small vision, but you gotta work at it a little bit to expand it, right?
So glad you said that.
Go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it. Sometimes we don't feel like we deserve it, or it feels risky to really hope and wish and dream because then what? But it's a really important exercise to tune into, what would I love? If I just had no barriers to it, what would I love? So that's question number 1. And you first answer that before you go on to question number 2. Question number 2 is, you go to your doctor who informs you that you have a rare disease that has no symptoms, you won't feel sick, you won't feel bad, but somewhere between 5 and 10 years from now, your life will end without any warning. How would you change your life? How would you live knowing that you have a limited time left on earth?
Good one.
Yeah. So what that question does is it starts to take the big picture of anything's possible, and then it brings a little bit of urgency to it.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah.
Because we all have an expiration date, right?
We do. Indeed,
Yeah.
Although in the yoga community, I feel like that's a later expiration date because of the health benefits,
Right.
The third question, and this is really where it gets the most poignant, is imagine you go back to your doctor and this time she informs you you have 24 hours to live. The question isn't how would you spend the next 24 hours. The question is, faced with your mortality, knowing that this is the end of your experience on planet Earth, what comes up for you? What are your regrets? Who did you not get to be? What did you not get to do? What did you not get to have? And by the time you get to this third question, people generally are able to tap into what matters most in life, what they most want to be, do, and have. And that's a great platform from which to say, okay, now that I'm really in tune with what I could have if anything were an option, and what I would regret if my life ended now, that's a great place from which to start saying, okay, what do I really want? And that's the number 1 thing you can do on the road to financial success and also personal fulfillment, is paint a vision of what do I want and make it crystal clear.
It's such a different perspective of finance and money and setting up your financial portfolio and all that. So I hope everybody's starting to see, there are, it's so cool there's people like you out there who have this perspective of it. So do those questions. Those will help you big time. Yeah.
It just comes out of being so sad from seeing so many people who do achieve financial freedom and just stand there saying, wait, I thought this was going to bring me fulfillment. Where's the happiness that's supposed to be attached to that line?
And you keep making more and more and more, but you're just not happy. So what's going on?
Yeah. And it's just the revelation is building financial wealth is one skill set, but translating that into a daily life that fulfills you is actually a separate skill set, and you've got to work on both at the same time.
Awesome. Cool. Let's keep going.
Okay, good.
We got more. We got more great stuff.
We got more,
to do
yeah.
here.
So going from that big picture, let's get also even more practical. If you want to have a successful yoga business and you want that to translate into successful personal finances, here's some recommendations I have for you. You got to be in touch with your numbers, all right?
Yes.
A lot of people in the yoga community go, numbers, that's not my thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people have stories of I'm bad at math.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, so it's okay if numbers and math aren't your thing, because there are plenty of people who can help you with this. But let me introduce you, if you don't know these numbers already, to a few things that you really should be aware of that are kind of the dashboard for your wealth, or the vital statistics for your wealth. I'm first going to start with a recommendation that you keep your yoga business finances separate from your personal finances. Treat your business like a business and treat your personal financial life separately from that.
Cool.
The most practical way to do that is to have a separate checking account into which all yoga business revenue goes, out of which all yoga business expenses come, so that it's its own little entity.
Right.
And then, if and when you have a profit in that business, you pay yourself a paycheck to your personal checking account. Mm-hmm. That way you can see your business metrics separate from your own personal metrics.
Right.
So if you aren't doing that, for sure do that. Another number I want to make sure you know is net worth. It's kind of like measuring your blood pressure, your heart rate. It tells you, what is my level of wealth? What's that scary number, net worth? It's really simple. It's everything you own minus everything you owe. If you have $1 million worth of stuff, house, portfolio, cars, and you owe $300,000 in debt, like mortgages, credit cards, student loans, business loans, just take 300, subtract it from $1 million, and your net worth is 700,000.
Right.
Know that number. That tells you where you are financially, and that's the number you're going to be using to get to financial freedom. You have to answer the question, what net worth would I need to be financially free?
Right.
Cool?
Cool. Easy.
Yeah.
And simple. You know, like Colin's saying, you know, a lot of people are afraid of the numbers, you know, but the numbers don't lie. And that's what's so exciting, because, you know, your emotional attachment to your finances and your business can totally distort your view of what's really happening. And then you look at the numbers and you go, oh, it's not that bad. And oh, I am doing good. And oh, I'm making more money every month. And you feel a lot better about it. But it comes from just saying, yeah, I'm going to go for it and just write some numbers down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So know your net worth. It's just scratch it out on a piece of paper. It's really simple.
It doesn't have to be a big spreadsheet, QuickBooks. Yeah, make it simple.
Or if you want, go online to mint.com, and it's a software program that does two things really well. You can link your financial accounts to it, your bank account, if you have an investment account, you link them all up, and it will just build your net worth for you. Boom, you can check it any day you want.
Cool. It
also tracks all the money that comes in and goes out. That's called your cash flow. The money that comes into your life and goes out of your life is your cash flow. And that's the other thing that's really important for you to start to get a handle on, because financial freedom means I have enough money and net worth to support my lifestyle, my expenses, forever. That's financial freedom.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So to know if you're financially free, you need to know what your net worth is, and you need to know what your expenses are, the expenses in your ideal life.
Cool.
Yeah, here's a little tip. Generally speaking, this is really rough, but generally speaking, it takes about 30 times your annual expenses to be financially free.
Wow, that's a good number.
It's very rough, but as a starting point, to give you an idea, if you spend $100,000 a year, if you had a pot of $3 million, that would be able to generate $100,000 a year essentially for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. So just to give you a beginning idea.
Yeah, you know, that's really good stuff. We're talking about financial freedom, and I want you to think about not just not having to worry about money, but, you know, what you could do if you didn't have to worry about money, right? Like, how much greater could you contribute, right? How much more could you serve your students? And, you know, how much more could you be focused on doing your life's work if you weren't stressed about, you know, making next month's rent, and you just said, wow, my finances are taken care of. Yeah. I can channel all that energy into helping people. So that's kind of the big reason we're talking about this. And I could probably segue into the next part, right?
Yeah. So another thing that I've seen people make as a major mistake it's also one of the most common ones that I see, is that people say, okay, I want to be financially free.
Right.
And then they go to work.
Right.
And they have no strategy for how they're actually going to achieve financial freedom.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it'll be nice, or I'm going to manifest it, right? A lot of people in our community are just going to sit down and think, $1 million.
Yeah, no, absolutely. By all means, attract it.
Yeah.
But couple that with a specific strategy that you intend to use to build your net worth to a place where it can support you indefinitely. So that means it's not just I'm hoping it's going to happen. It means you're actually choosing, here's how I intend to make it happen. And you in the yoga community have 2 core ways they're going to be your best shot at achieving financial freedom.
Right.
So you want to cover those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
So the number one way that you're most likely to build financial freedom is, remember Chris putting up the board and showing you all the different ways you can create revenue?
Yeah.
That's creating income.
Right.
And the number one way you can build wealth is to save some of your income. I know you're not hearing the angels sing, that's not a revelation, but it's really practical and it's really simple. If you're not setting aside some of your money, you will not be building up your net worth. It's that simple. So as the money comes in, you've got to set aside some of it and put that in savings, investing, grow that pot to an amount which will be enough to support you. If you aren't doing that, I can guarantee you you're much less likely to be achieving financial freedom.
Very
simple.
Cool.
The other way you can create financial freedom is if you create a business that actually has value, something that you can sell, that you can monetize. And there's a real difference between what a lot of people have, which is essentially a yoga job, even though you're self-employed.
Right.
We call them jobpreneurs. You call the shots, it's your business.
Jobpreneur.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, totally. But if your whole business revolves around you, for example, if you're successful, you're making a good income with lots of students, but they're really only there if you're there because they love you and your style and the love and the energy that you bring, you can't sell that because you can't sell your love and your energy to someone else to continue giving it to your students. So there you have a good practice, use the income, set some of it aside. But if you want to build a yoga business that actually has value in and of itself, separate from you, you've got to build in systems so that the business could run without you and that people would still do business with your business if you weren't there.
Right, like for an example, if you create a company that made yoga mats, right? You made these amazing yoga mats that were the best the world's ever seen, and then you build a company that makes those, when you can then either let the company run on its own and sell your stuff for you, or you could sell that company, right?
Absolutely.
It's worth something.
Yeah, so a really important thing you can do is look ahead to the future and say, okay, it's 10 years down the future, I'm financially independent. How did I actually do that? Was it because I saved a bunch of money? Was it because I created a business that sells yoga mats that was successful?
So, look back into your, pretend you're in the future and you've made all the money you need, you're financially free. How did I get there?
Yeah.
How did I do that, right? And reverse engineer that process backwards.
Yeah. And answer that question specifically, not just, I did well. But.
Right. Cool. So the last point we have here is really exciting. You want to talk about that fourth point here?
Yeah. So unfortunately, only about 1% of people in this nation end up creating financial freedom or becoming millionaires.
It's a really small number, right?
Yeah. So that's to say, there obviously are some big obstacles in the way. If there weren't obstacles creating wealth and creating financial freedom, we'd have a lot more of it. So as you go into this journey to creating your own financial independence, you got to realize, okay, it's going to be a challenge, which is what we were talking about. You can be grateful for, because anything that's challenging in life is much more rewarding, much more interesting.
Right, like if you just started a yoga practice and you could do handstands and back bends and Pinchamayurasana all at once, it wouldn't be that much fun because you wouldn't have to work up to it. So the challenges are good for us.
Yeah. So there are good for us, and know that there are plenty standing in the way. There are challenges in terms of our brain wiring. And there's science studying this and supporting it. Here's a simple example. In investing, there's something called the recency effect that proves that more recent information we have outweighs maybe more valuable or important information that we had longer back, that we already had in mind. There's something, if it's more recent, we weight it more, and that's an incorrect thing to do. Our brain does tons of these things that stand in the way of making good financial decisions.
So there's lots of obstacles.
There are. And particularly in the yoga community, a lot of those obstacles have to do with our belief systems around money.
Yeah, this is a big one.
Yeah, so I know you've talked with the community about it. The number one most prevalent belief that serves as an obstacle to building wealth, if you're in this community, typically tends to be money is dirty. I can't both be spiritual and wealthy.
Right. Yes.
They somehow stand in
a lot of people
contrast to each
believe
other.
that. Yeah, it's this important thing to talk about because, you know, if we have that belief that we can't make money and be spiritual and do good, well, we're not going to have much influence in the world, because that's just the matter of the fact. The fact of the matter is that, we need to have money so that we can have influence on the planet. It's really important. And, you know, you've got to be financially free so you can be supported and taken care of. So we're really excited that there's people like you here and me and everybody watching that's embracing this new concept of, you know, having profit and purpose coexist.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting.
Absolutely. The more we can realize that money isn't good or bad.
Yeah,
we grow up
it's neutral.
We grow up in a community, in a world that often says money is the root of all evil.
Right.
We have a lot of beliefs around money, and to the extent that conflicts with the image of who we are, our self-image, that really can be an obstacle to building wealth.
Right.
For example, fill in this sentence. Rich people are... fill in the blank.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
just even identifying rich people with somebody being outside of who we are.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Even that separation can be a huge belief pattern.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
That messes you up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an us and them.
Right.
Good guys, bad guys.
Yeah.
Rich and good.
Right.
Rich versus good.
Yeah.
So take a look at what you just used to fill in the blank. Did you say rich people are cheaters, greedy bastards? Did you say rich people are serving the world at a higher level of effectiveness?
Yeah.
What did you come up with? And this is all to illustrate that part of successfully navigating the road to wealth is being really conscious of what you believe about money and clearing out beliefs that stand in your way of becoming a person who can own wealth and wear it well and comfortably and use it in service of your own fulfillment and spreading your meaning in the world.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's all we got for you today. That's
cool.
Some exciting stuff and hit some big points. Now, everything Colin talked about is in his book, Woohoo Wealth, and it goes much deeper into the subject, and he has an amazing gift for our community.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
I would love to offer you guys a copy of Woohoo as in Woohoo Wealth. And the idea is the woohoo is the reason we want wealth is to feel aliveness, is to be free and to do be our best and do our best in the world.
Yeah.
I would love to give you guys a copy at no cost. I won't even charge you for shipping. You can get a physical paperback copy, or if you prefer, an ebook that works on iPad, Kindle, all that. Mm-hmm. And it's easy to get. All you do is go to my website, www.drakewealth.com, like Sir Francis Drake and wealth. So drakewealth.com/woohoo.
Yeah, we'll put a link below the video too.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so just click on that link and you'll not only get a copy of the book, but it also comes with a video series called Get Great with Money. And about once a week, you just get a short 3 to 5 minute video that kind of covers the sorts of things we're talking about today. Just little tidbits, good morsels that help you get great with money, both in terms of your day-to-day practical engagement with it and also your mindset around it.
Awesome. Yeah, so everybody go get this book. I mean, this thing is awesome, and Colin's stuff is just like mine. It's really high quality, and he puts a lot of care and attention into it. So I fully recommend it all the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for being here.
Yeah, I love it.
Starting up this great conversation about finances and money in our community. It's awesome, and we really need to have this talk. So it's time, and the people are here to help you. Just gotta go out there and get the information. Yeah, and you guys keep doing your great work. It is so important in the world, and I'm happy to be a resource for you, and glad I could join you today for this. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.